Hey, good evening. I'm really happy to have you here. My name is Daniel. I was a professional opera singer and beatboxer. And tonight, we're going to be listening to Wing perform his 2025 Grand Beatbox Battle Routine, Wildcard. So, we are continuing the Beatbox Battle Wildcards. I'm so excited to be able to do Wing next. Wing has been a great inspiration to me. I know I'm going to say that about a lot of beatboxers because a lot of beatboxers have really left an impression on me, but Wing especially because I've been following him since 2018 throughout his musical progression as an artist, as a beatboxer, and honestly, his growth, he has absolutely defined what his style is, but he doesn't feel limited or constrained or boxed in by it. He's constantly expanding and growing while maintaining this flow, this groove, upholding his title as the King of Groove. I don't know if he was the one who picked that himself or if it was just given to him by the people, but he's really captured what it means to participate in a really fun, groovy aesthetic that anybody can really enjoy, but it also has a lot of really technical elements that are dazzling to the ear, but when you really break it apart is extraordinarily technical and complex. And I would even argue in the majority of his pieces. So honestly, I remember I was watching just a compilation of shorts he did, and some of those shorts were so technical. I was listening to them for months, just breaking them down, listening to it in slow-mo, just trying to replicate it, and I can't even get close to his precision and speed. But he's just so much fun. I absolutely love his music. I don't know what to expect from this wild card, so I'm really, really excited, and I hope you are as well. So without any further delay, let's jump into it.
Hello, this is Wing from South Korea, and this is my solo wildcard for GBB25 World League.
It's so controlled! What is that snare? Oh, dude, it was so smooth. Like, just from the very beginning, where he just takes you up, you're just being penned. You're just flowing in this beautiful calligraphy, this beautiful cursive, and it's just immaculate. And then you get into the first drop, and it doesn't feel like we're up high, and then you just immediately fall into this heavy metal pounding dubstep drop. It's more just like we're being penned into that drop, if that makes sense. I know it doesn't. I know I can't really express my felicity on this, aside from the fact that it's just so smooth. He just carries you from section to section, from cadence to cadence, and it it doesn't feel like we're ever out of sight from him. He's just gliding us along throughout this entire piece. From moment to moment, we just feel all of the groove. Like, it's... He's just so much fun, and his groove is so solid. It's so technical, and his sound variety is just so expansive. There was a moment in time where many people thought that the Wing style had a particular lip bass with a throat bass combo, and that needed to be in every piece, but he didn't do it in this one, and that isn't just an example of his growth as a beatboxer, but also just in terms of the kind of music that he wants to build for himself and his audience. He's so compelling and interesting in how he structures his beats. With Codfish, we had something very raw, and the piece was being built in this style of, let's just explore these types of concepts, where Wing is very much more methodical in how we're experiencing music, but it's so polished and refined, and it's still just as pleasing, just in a completely polarizing way almost. And we're still just being guided along through their artistry, and it's just so wonderful. Something I love about GBB Wildcard season is just the fact that it absolutely feels like walking through an art museum and looking at all of the different painters on the wall and looking at all of their different styles, and you can find something to truly appreciate about every single piece of art. And you can just feel the passion, the intensity of the artist, or the cool, methodic, calculating nature, sometimes exploring their guile or some Machiavellian nature that they have buried within them that they extricate onto the canvas, or whatever the case is. You can absolutely find something to truly appreciate about walking through the museum and exploring multiple artists' mediums and ways of which they engage with the art. And that's something I really enjoy about GBB season, where it might all be beatboxing, but it doesn't at all mean that any beatboxer is going to express their art in the exact same way as another beatboxer. You might be looking at two different paintings, but the allegories within them, the styles, the brush strokes, how they tackle which canvas to use, what type of canvas they're using, the layering that is going to be involved in that, the amount of time it takes, what it is that they want to achieve with it. There's so much depth and nuance that goes into the pieces of art that are being presented, not just to the artist, but to us, their audience. And it's just so compelling, dude. I absolutely love it. So I did get a comment on this a while back saying that it seems very polarizing that I, as an opera singer, am so fascinated by beatboxing. And I understand why, just in terms of absolutely appreciating and loving classical music, Baroque music, Romantic music, Renaissance, etc., just old styles of music. Even though I really do love and appreciate those things and love the storytelling that's attached to something like opera, I am absolutely fascinated and dazzled by the human condition, humanity as a whole, especially the human voice and what the human voice is capable of. So I spent several years, at this point 15 going on 16 years, studying classical music. And I've been beatboxing casually, but I've always wanted to keep growing and keep expanding my skill set for about the last 12 years. And I've been much more serious about my classical music career, but I've always really loved expanding my skill set as a beatboxer. So my beatboxing skills hasn't necessarily improved as dramatically as my classical singing ability, but I still really love to beatbox and really love to explore what it is that I'm capable of and what other people are capable of, and just being able to engage with this type of art on such a meaningful level is it just means the world to me. And I absolutely love being able to pick these apart a lot more. So let's jump into the analysis so I can try to pick this apart a little bit more. Not that I'll necessarily be able to that well, because I'm not that much of a technical beatboxer. For those that watch my Codfish reaction, you guys know that my beatboxing is a little bit more close in alignment with Codfish's style than other beatboxers, but I'll do my best on this. So let's just jump into the analysis.
Hello, this is Wing from South Korea, and this is my solo wildcard for GBB25 World League.
It's so controlled, and it sounds like a gargle. And then he adds in this kind of effect, but I really don't even know how he's doing it because it's so controlled. It could even be done with his tongue specifically and not his uvula, like what you use when you gargle. Like, it's so bizarre, but it sounds so good, and I love how controlled it is and so precise it is. For the beatboxers that are watching this video, please tell me how to do this. I would love to have this level of control in my throat bass. Oh, it's so cool. Yeah! Chills. And just that beautiful smooth transition from the dun to the ton. You can hear that slight T just creep in, and it's so seamless, dude, until he really gets into that drop. Ah! Oh, yeah! Oh my gosh, that kick drum is so heavy hitting. Like, something you learn in beatboxing, like beatboxing 101, is boots and cats, you know? It's very cliche, I know, but that's how a lot of people start. That's how I started. You just learn on boots and cats and boots and cats. You try to emphasize those consonants, but the more you get into it, the more you just take out the words and just focus on the consonants. But in that idea, you can start playing around with it and then start creating your own melodies, coming up with a new way to do the K instead of an outward simple like you would use for language. You might learn how to create the inward K and just have fun with that, play around with that. But something so simple, I'm getting off track, but something so simple is just really molding that kick drum. And that kick drum is so powerful. Oh my gosh. And the way that Wing just makes it so full and impactful. Yes, a little bit is partially due to the masterful audio engineering of the piece, but it's not as though it's altering or changing the way that Wing is producing that sound. That sound coming through your ears is authentic Wing. And it's just so impactful. That kick drum is crazy, and the snares, dude. Oh, it's so smooth. Just that breath in the snare. Just these sounds are simple sounds, and just how he's progressing it. Like, obviously the bass is not that simple, especially to make it as consistent as he's making it, but dude, it's just so groovy. my gosh, dude. He's just, his incorporation of these sounds is so strategically placed that you just can't help but groove to his aesthetic, his vibe, his rhythm. He is in full control. Oh, that was a nice little technical element. Woo. Genius build. Oh, and just the way that he intakes air there through the lip roll. Oh, yeah, man. Love that. And this snare is so hollow. You hear the breath coming out of it, and it really creates that aesthetic beautifully. Just that. Oh my gosh, just that quick zippers there. Ah, beautiful. Love that. Oh. He's doing that as an inward sound. I see that. And it looks like he's doing it as a lip roll, but I can only do it outward. And it's nowhere near the same texture and aesthetic. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, dude. It's so soft. He doesn't commit to sounds that are outside of his aesthetic. It's so groovy, so chill, and everything just works so well together. It's a masterclass in how to blend different sounds in order to create a very specific aesthetic. Like, a lot of people just take a bunch of different sounds, myself included. I'm absolutely guilty of this, and just throw it into a routine because you're capable of making those sounds. But there's so much more to beatboxing than just taking a bunch of colors you like and throwing them on a painting and calling it a masterpiece. You have to know what colors work well together. You have to know what sounds and aesthetics work really well together, how you're going to structure them in such a way as to create a masterful piece of music, or in the metaphor, a masterful artwork. So it's just so compelling listening to Wing. He's really a master at making sure that it all just comes together so nicely, and kudos to you, brother. This was just awesome. Thank y'all so much for watching this video. If y'all liked it, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And if you didn't like it, please leave a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I do read all of the comments, even if I may not heart or reply to them, so please know your comments do not go unnoticed. I want to take this time to appreciate all of you for being here watching these videos. It really does mean a lot to me, so thank you so much. And I can't wait to see all of you in the next video. Have a great rest of your evening, everyone.